Would you believe me if I told you that entire cinematic sequence you just watched was shot entirely on my smartphone? There was no massive film crew or expensive gear involved, just my phone, a simple bedside lamp, and a whole lot of patience. You probably shouldn't just take my word for it, but today I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved this look and how I turned hours of messy footage into short, punchy clips. I'll walk you through my entire process, proving you don't need to spend an entire week stuck in the editing room to make great content. For the second scene, I originally had this specific idea of a lime and a lemon being squeezed perfectly on the beat of the music. It seemed cute and satisfying in my head, but when I looked at the test footage, it felt too staged and lacked a truly organic vibe. I decided to scrap that completely and go for something more playful, like dropping the fruit in slow motion to hit the frame exactly on the downbeat. It sounds like an easy task, but let me tell you, capturing that perfect rhythmic motion is actually quite difficult. There is a very specific sweet spot between slow motion settings and the music tempo where things finally start looking cinematic. To get there, I used the phone's slow-mo setting and a tiny handheld rig to keep everything as steady as possible. I counted the tempo, dropped the fruit, and adjusted the speed in post-production so the impact landed perfectly on the snare hits. It took dozens of attempts, and there was quite a lot of citrus juice all over my floor by the time I was finished. Now, let's break down the finale, which involved placing plain white sugar on a sheet of green construction paper. The secret trick here is that sugar mixed with sparkling water creates a much more dramatic fizz than regular still water. I poured the sugar into the sparkling water while simultaneously nudging a stack of books forward with my phone to create movement. To finish the effect, I used a spray bottle from above so the falling droplets would catch the light and look like glitter. I only had one sheet of paper and one shot at this setup, so the tension was definitely high. I had to coordinate the pour, the book movement, and the spray all in one go, otherwise I'd have to reset the whole scene. One single false move and I would have wasted an entire take, so I really had to be careful. Now, here's the part that most creators tend to skip: the actual cleanup and the post-production editing. Shooting is definitely half the battle, but turning those raw takes into a shareable piece of content is where the real work happens. I used to spend countless nights in professional editing software hunting for beats and trying to find the one perfect moment to post. It is incredibly exhausting, and honestly, the manual labor of cutting can completely kill your creative flow. That is when I started using Vizard for this project, which isn't magic, but it is the most realistic shortcut I have found. It is designed for turning long-form footage into ready-to-post short clips, and it made my entire workflow feel so much lighter. Here's how I do it. I dump all my raw takes into the platform, and it automatically scans the footage for the best bits. It finds sudden motion, close-ups, and audio-synced beats, then groups them into suggested clips that are basically ready to go. For the citrus drop scene, the AI picked the exact frames where the fruit crossed the path and matched them perfectly to the audio. For the sugar and spray shot, it highlighted the exact frame where the water droplets caught the light, saving me hours of hunting. I know some of you might be wondering why not just use a standard basic trimmer, but many of those tools have weak detection features. And then there are the full professional suites, which are amazing, but they are expensive and usually offer way more than a creator needs. Vizard sits in the perfect sweet spot. It is smarter than a basic app, but much more affordable and faster than a full creative suite. It is actually designed for creators who post content regularly and need a tool that respects their time. Plus, if you are making content consistently, their scheduling and calendar features are an absolute game changer for your sanity. I also leaned heavily on the auto-schedule feature instead of manually uploading clips to every single platform myself. I just tell the tool my posting frequency and let it do the heavy lifting of publishing content at the optimal times. That saved me a full afternoon this week that I was able to use to experiment with different lighting and citrus drops. Their content calendar is not just a pretty timeline, as it lets me see what is scheduled across all my different platforms. I can swap clips, edit captions, and even repurpose a single long video into multiple variants with different hooks. So for that final sugar spray clip, I exported a cinematic 30-second cut for YouTube and a tight 9-second hook for my reels. It was one upload for 2 different posts, which is one less thing for me to have to think about during my day. Now, for full transparency, no tool is perfect because some AI editors miss the subtle human beats like a smirk or a small laugh. I still review and tweak things myself, but Vizard provides a practical balance with great clip detection and flexible exports. The pricing also feels very reasonable for the value it provides, especially when you are posting multiple times a week. It removes those invisible time costs like the hours spent clipping and the mental load of keeping a content calendar in your head. Back to the shoot. Once the software gave me the suggested clips, I went through and picked the ones that had real personality. It caught tiny moments I hadn't even noticed, like a shadow crossing at the perfect beat or an accidental light flare. I use the quick caption suggestions and platform presets to instantly export everything in the correct sizes and aspect ratios. Finally, I keep project notes for every shoot, and tagging things makes collaboration so much less chaotic. If you love shooting on your phone but hate spending hours in the timeline, you really need to try a smarter workflow. Capture those micro moments, the lime, the lemon, the sugar fizz, and let a smart tool do the heavy lifting of the editing. It won't replace your unique creative eye, but it clears up your schedule so you can make more stuff and test more ideas. If you are inspired to try something similar, do not overcomplicate your setup with expensive gear right from the start. Use natural light, get stable shots with a simple rig, and focus on those repeatable micro actions like pours and pushes. Shoot way more takes than you think you need, and when you are staring at a folder of footage at 2 a.m., let the AI handle the basics. That allows you to focus on making the important creative choices that actually define your style. Thanks for watching. Keep shooting, keep sharing, and don't be afraid to let a little automation handle the boring parts for you. Get out there, make some citrus chaos, and let me know how your own fizzy finales turn out.